And look, some parents they're doing their absolute best. They are really doing their absolute best. Some of them are burnt out. Some of them are tired. Some of them are raising, children on their own, being a single mum or single dad. Some kids are going through school, they're dropping out of school and they're playing up at school, so they get suspended, expelled, they go home, they get in trouble. At the end of the day, they may have a learning disability. They're getting kicked out because that's their easiest way to, instead of saying, I don't understand, they prefer to get kicked out because they look cool. Our job primarily is to meet the kids where they're at.
So please take note that we will be covering sensitive topics. And for you or for someone that you know that is in need of support, please call Lifeline on 13 11 14. That number again is 13 11 14. Hey guys, what's up? And welcome back to another brand new episode back on the Sunshine Coast. I'm here with Dr. Leon Stensholm, who is the founder of Stensholm Foundation, Lookout 07, and also the author of two amazing books, 60 Days of Mindfulness and It's How You Think. So please, stick around to hear his story about the great work that he does in providing support such as mentorship and counseling for the youth, but also how you can get involved with the work that he does in supporting the community on the Sunshine Coast. So without further ado, let's get back to it. Hey guys, what's up and welcome back again to another episode on the Sunshine Coast. Today I'm here in the suburb of Kawana at one of these lovely facilities with the owner, who is also the special guest joining me at the Roundtable, which symbolizes a space where stories are shared, voices are heard, and lessons learnt. And here to share his story, the founder of the Stensholm Foundation, which is a charity that offers a place that is safe for young people to come to as a youth center where they get mentorships and counseling. And here to share his story, Leon, welcome to the Roundtable.
And thank you so much. I love your little description of the Roundtable. It adds the philosophy of why you travel with this table. I think it's pretty cool because I think everyone needs their own their own creativity with whether it's a podcast or whether it's a business, whether it's a charity foundation. I think it's the innovative side of us that creates something different that the society hasn't got yet, which fills the holes, doesn't it?
Absolutely. And look, I'm honored to also have you join me here today too as well. So thank you for that. And
my pleasure.
Thank you for the use of this awesome facility. It's pretty amazing, and I'm kind of like in awe of it all. It looks just like I'm surrounded by celebrities. We've got Kobe Bryant there. We've got Arnold Schwarzenegger behind us. A few of the other celebrities back on the back wall there. But yeah, before I get too carried away about how awesome this place is, before we kind of dive into everything else, can you please, like for our listeners and viewers that may not know who you are, just share a little bit about yourself and your background?
Yeah, sure. Thank you, mate. And thanks for having me on. I appreciate it because I have broken the cycle of your outdoor setting area where there's a little bit pending, but it's probably a little bit cooler in here anyway.
It is, absolutely.
Yeah. Look, I actually now go under the name of Dr. Leon Stensholm, which is quite crazy because I was a guy that actually couldn't pass school, couldn't even write, couldn't even speak, very anxious, very introvert style child. So to be the 360 of that now, I think my parents still don't quite understand where the change went, how that happens, and I guess if anyone can walk away with something from this, to try to bring some sort of different spiel, is that a lot of us may leave school or we have this, generic upbringing thinking that we're X, Y, Z, we're small, we've got anxiety, we've got ADHD, we've got autism. This is how we are and this is how it's going to be, and I can't do anything great in my life because of these little hand tags that I've been given. I think what I like to teach the kids here, honestly and sincerely, is that I can say that I was that kid that was told that you won't pass school, you won't be able to achieve anything, you won't do anything greater than drive buses and, drive taxis, and no disrespect to bus drivers and taxi drivers, but the philosophy is what people told me is that's about your brain capacity. So I was led to believe that up until probably 35. I was just a tradesman, didn't really achieve anything great. But what I have learned is that isn't true. I did hide behind my strengths and weaknesses due to my anxiety and probably lack of influences around me. I had a great family upbringing, but again, I didn't have any mentors that, could teach me that, hang on, no, Leon, this is not who you are. So I've really learnt, through challenges and traumas and adversities and loss of loved ones, is that sometimes that's, as harsh as that is, in that actual moment, and sometimes we don't know why, great people pass and why tragic things happen to great people. But what we do know is that sometimes there's a story in that, and if you can find the strength to pass that story, amazing things happen. And I fast forward my story because it's just part of the I guess the driving force of Lookout 07, Body, Mind by Leon. So today, again, I'm got an honourable doctorate I received last year for excellence in the community of working with people that are suicidal, which I've done for the last 12 years. And a lot of it has been free. It's been volunteer work. So I'm still a volunteer in my own organisation.
Can you just quickly circle back, okay, to Lookout '07, what that represents, and also Body of Leon?
Yeah. So that the whole idea behind the process of this facility here is that the individuals, I'd lost a brother to suicide, Dino, God bless his soul, and 4 of my clients to suicide as well. So there was a moment of my life, this all happening within a couple of years. And the local, I guess that what we've seen there was a lot of loneliness, isolation, disconnection, a lack of mateship. Mateship is just Sam Parker's word. He's all about mateship, isn't it? Grab life by the ball. So his philosophy also is, obviously life's better together, and that's not his saying, but that's kind of what he's like, and that bringing men in his case together, because it does go a long way. So that philosophy is a great guy, and he's a great friend of mine, and so we've got the same sort of, I guess, knowledge in here as well, but I've taken that further because being my background of sports psychology, it's something that I want to get to the root core of why someone's going through the challenges. So Lookout 07, it's the lookout tag where the kids actually come up with his name. And what it was, it's there's a couple of pictures behind us, and you can see a little lookout tower. And that's one of them throughout the word lookout. We're looking out for you. And that's where the lookout part of it come. And the very clever thing about the 07, well, the 07 is we have 7 ethics and morals. We're founded in the postcode 07. That's what it is around here. My brother's favourite number, he was a lead athlete, great sports star, great soccer player. He wouldn't play sport unless he had, wouldn't play rugby league or soccer unless he had number 7. He legitimately wouldn't play, he wouldn't play. So there, and 7 in my faith is actually God's number. So there's actually a lot of symbolisation of that sort of 07. Now the reason why it's 07, not 7, is because we simply couldn't get 7 when we actually trying to find the actual name for the facility. So that's where the Lookout 07 sort of come through, and it's just sort of rolled on ever since. But it is based on the back end of loneliness, isolation, disconnecting. There is evidence about kids moving more than as opposed to staring at their phones, being sedentary. But it's that connection of human connection is what people lack at the moment. And I think the more depressed someone is, the more anxiety they're struggling with, which is myself struggled at a younger age. You become withdrawn, and that withdrawing becomes lonely, and become lonely where you're not going to really have any goals or ambitions. It's hard to get outside your own little bedroom. So bringing people together and bringing abundance of kids together here and try to, get them speaking up, talking, being vulnerable, and understand that, again, through life, you're going to go through challenges, and the only way you're going to get through it is having that support network around you. And that's what we provide here.
Wow, that's absolutely amazing. I mean, so what was the motivation to really step in and provide something like this for the young people through what they were experiencing? How were you able to finally take hold of a situation that was happening in the community and then go, right, I've got to do something here? What was the motivation behind that?
Yeah, so I had another facility that was half the size of this one, and I was just, doing standard coaching, but really coaching individuals that were going through a lot of depression, anxiety as well. So similar symptoms to what I'd seen, to what my brother went through when my clients had lost their life prior to that. I didn't really know at the start of my career of coaching and doing all the counselling that I was going to attract so many suicidal people. But I guess my backstory, I was very open about suicide about 12 years ago when Dean passed. And it wasn't really spoken about 12 years ago. So I brought that personally myself. I was very outspoken about it. There was not outspoken in a negative way, but just in a positive way about, support, speaking up, talking about what you're feeling. And so I used to bring them emotions to life and just encourage people also to speak up. So when I had my last facility, my last 2 prior to this actually, there seemed to be people would come and start talking about what they're really going through. They weren't just saying, I'm having a bad day. I was actually getting to the root core of what the problem was. And we call that in the theory terms of psychoanalytics and psychoanalytics. It's a word that simply means we're delving into the past to find out what's at the apple core of what someone's going through. So we're on the surface, we can have conversations and connections, and that's one piece of the pie. But to be able to have that rapport relationship with individuals, in my case, 2025 with the kids, it allows them to be vulnerable and address what they're going through that made them depressed. Why are they anxious? Try to get to the core of the problem early, not get to the core of the problem when they're 45 and 50, and then now they've lived with 35 years of trauma, challenges, and in the process they've had marriage breakups, unfortunately, maybe a disconnection with their kids, too much alcohol, drugs, and again, I'm never one to blame anyone. It's a tough world. It's a challenging world. Not everyone had the perfect upbringing. Not everyone made the perfect decisions. We've all made some decisions that weren't great in life. So it's all about it's not about the blame game. It's about how do we gel as a one to actually start helping. So that's where I thought to myself, well, I love leadership. I'm obsessed with leadership, Tam. It's something that sits well in my heart to go, you know what, how do I be innovative, creative? How do I bring something to life that actually hasn't happened yet? So it's taken me, again, it took me around the 10-year mark to actually come up with this idea that was just planted in my heart. I'm, again, a faithful person, so it was stirring in my heart to create something. But then it took another 2 years to try to work out how on earth do I build something of this stature with minimal funds possible. Hey, I'm not a super wealthy person. I invest a lot of my money back to the community. So I was just lucky that I had a great friend that stepped up and said, hey, we'll help you with the building, but you got to do the rest. So I've had to learn how to build a foundation and a charity from the ground zero up with no money, and somehow we've made it work, Tam, and here we are today. We've seen, again, 8,000 kids in the 18 months sign in. So the need's there, the want's there, and that's what this has been. Evidence has proven that. You know what I mean? So,
what about the parents? You know, is it something too that they're kind of excited to see that this has been built for the kids that are going through these hardships?
You know, Tim, it's an amazing question you ask that, because I think that's, you know, we speak about the kids, we speak about youth crime, and look, some parents they're doing their absolute best. They are really doing their absolute best. Some of them are burnt out, some of them are tired, some of them are raising, you know, children on their own, being a single mum or single dad, and the kids need love, and they need so much more than society can give them at the moment. And again, that's the world's gone so fast. Like we're blinking, it's going to be Christmas again. That's how fast we're going. So I've always had the philosophy myself to go, you know what? No. I'm jumping off this steam train of life. I'm not running on the same train as everyone else. I'm running my race at my time, in my pace, and I'm going to do things the pace that I know is sustainable. I'm not going to miss the roses along the way. But at the moment, everyone's just going full throttle, and the kids need time. They need attention, and it's not that at some houses, some kids are getting it. They are getting it, but some kids, they may just need more. Everyone has a certain attention requirement. Some kids are going through school, they're dropping out of school, and they're playing up at school, so they get suspended, expelled. They go home, they get in trouble. At the end of the day, they may have a learning disability. They may struggle to have, you know, a severe ADHD where their brains can't actually listen to what the teacher's saying. Next thing you know, they're getting kicked out, because that's the easiest way to, instead of saying I don't understand, they prefer to get kicked out because they look cool. So we have a lot going on here. So our job primarily is to meet the kids where they're at. You know, and get them to understand that what they're going through, that could be a superpower. That they're getting labelled, oh, here's my, you know, tag of autism or dyslexia, and hey, hang on, we can work with that. They're like, what do you mean? I'm dumb. No, hang on. You've got a world's most creative brain, you know, so don't write yourself off. So it's trying to meet kids, where are they, what do they think they are, and kind of cognitive behaviour therapy is what we call it. Change the way they think, behave, and act. It's a very, very special tool that you can do with young kids, because they'll just go, it's black. But hang on, let's talk with the white for a second. There could be something over here that you're not seeing. So I was using a great example this morning of a lady that had strong autism, and everything comes back to, oh, it's my autism. And then I said, well, what about Steve Jobs? He created something that everyone's got their hand in. I'm not saying he was autistic, but he had the personality of someone that was like pretty straight down the line, very regimented and whatnot. And she goes, well, he was, yeah, but he got the good autism. I said, what do you mean the good autism? Well, he was super smart and he was able to create the phone. I said, so what's your autism? She goes, well, I've got the bad autism. I said, why is that? I said, do you know Steve Jobs passed away early, young? No, he's still alive, isn't he? No, he died away at early 50s. He died in I think it's 2011. I said, so how can you say that he got the good autism? I said, if you look in the bag, the autism he got obviously creative, structured brain, but he also didn't have a lot of connections, friends. He wasn't a outspoken person. So you can't say 1 minute. I said, you've got the intelligent brain, you're very structured, you're very routine, and you have an amazing personality. So if you look at the both show bags here, I said, don't go thinking someone's got something that you haven't got. We've all got a shopping bag. And we all got some great tools in them. We just have to teach the kids how to use the tools that they've got. You know, you go to a building site, the builder's got their tools. They might have 25 tools. They might only use 4. So it's understanding strengths and weaknesses in the particular individuals. I'm not a highly intellectual guy. I never was. Somehow I managed to get a doctorate, so I've got something going on, but I just know my strengths. I just went straight down that path. I didn't even take your traditional road to uni. I didn't want to do 4 years of bachelor's, then go into my honours, then go into my master's, then go into my PhD. That wasn't the sequence. I did a diploma, got 10 years experience, got exempt from 4 years of bachelor's, and went straight into my master's, did my master's, then got my honours, doctorates. And now I'm doing a PhD. So I took a smart route. There's always another way. My strength wasn't to spend 8 years at uni to go to a PhD. I've only spent 6 months, and now I'm about to go a different road. So there's always another way, but know your strengths, and you can get to the same position as someone else if you know your strengths, strength-based.
Yeah, I suppose along those lines, as long as you're not trying to compare yourself each time, which is probably something that you still need to develop over time, with the awareness of knowing that you are comparing yourself and realizing that you don't need to compare yourself when you can actually focus on what your strengths are. Can I just ask you quickly then, was that when you were also, because you're the author of 2 amazing books, 60 Days of Mindfulness and
It's How You Think.
It's How You Think?
And the next one's coming out. I'll be published next month. Yeah, that's a health and fitness book. So it's my first health and fitness book I'm writing. So that one actually will be out next month. So
Nice.
And it's called We Know Why You Fail.
Oh, wow.
You've heard it here first.
Yeah,
I haven't
cool.
actually released that just yet. We actually only confirmed the title yesterday. We changed the title, original title. But yeah, so that'll be out as long as through publishing. So in the next couple of months, guaranteed anyway.
How are the parents able to get a hold of a place like this? What would they need to do? Because I think some of the parents sometimes tend to struggle with asking for directions of I've got my kids kind of going through this. What do I need to do? And, as a parent, what would they have to do, or who do they call? Because I think sometimes they can come at the door, but it doesn't mean they're going to knock.
Yeah, totally. I think the one thing I knew I had in my favour building this, Tan, was I've been in the community for a long time. I've been out presenting, speaking. So I've done so much so that once this actually opened and they realised it was myself that had founded it, it just did its own thing. So the biggest thing for parents, sometimes they're not every child is going to have the capacity, due to their anxiety or their struggles, to walk into a place here that's pretty full of energy in the evening. So there's a barrier there. Something I'm currently working on to be able to, again, if I can find down the track something that was twice as big, 3 times as big. You have different sections that's not so energy based. You can get someone maybe starting over on the right, and they can transition in. So there will be a different philosophy. I have found some barriers of things that I haven't been able to address. So the kids that we see in here are the ones that some parents are just going, man, we're just going. Come on, get in the car. We're just going to go see Leon. That's happened, but there's a lot of kids that just struggle to connect in an environment and make friends. So I need a new gateway in. So this place is not for everyone, unfortunately. I wish it would, and my goal is to make it suited to everyone. We probably have about only 25% females in here. So it's obviously it's a very male-dominated place because more males are probably more likely going to be more active, moving around, running around, need to run off a lot of energy. That's just the male build. Mm-hmm. But female side of it can be a little bit intimidating for girls to walk in to go, oh my God, wow, it's like, there's a lot going on here. So why I built this, and I'm great, and it's serving a purpose, and it's thousands and thousands and thousands of kids coming in. I'm always still looking to go, hang on, I want better now. I'm only hitting, still 15% of the market. So there's still 85% of kids that are not getting in here. How do I start addressing that further? You know what I mean? So there's kids in the youth justice system. There's kids, that obviously, obviously got themselves in a deep trouble. That this place in the evening is probably not for them. We've got a culture here that's been built. There's a lot of respect that has to happen through here. There's no real rules. Just be kind to people, kind to everyone. That's all we're looking for. So there's a lot of moving parts here, and the challenging thing is I've had to do it solo. There's no funding, so it's something that I've had to, again, dig deep and create. And now I've come up with a whole heap of problems. And that'll be my next goal in the next 12 months, to account them problems and see how can the community together address all these problems. So I've got the knowledge, I've got the education, I've got the wisdom, I've got the centre, I've got the results, I've got the stats. We've got it, they don't lie. So if we're serious about trying to help our youth come through, this is what needs to happen. And that was this, for me, this was always going to be just a starting point. Tending to go, hang on, let's just build it. And the old saying, build it, they'll come. Proven theory. So it's there. It's on the rocks now. So there needs to be another place. I've got it in my head. Vision. It's visualized. I can see it already. So it's something that to get to that point, I believe it can bring in at least another 50% of the kids at the moment, and we can't market because we're too busy. How's that for a problem? I can't put it out on socials too much, because we're too busy. The capacity here will probably handle, 60 kids a night or something. We had a Christmas party, and there was about 85 kids here. We're like, oh my God, we've never had 85 kids running around. There's a lot of energy in this place. This is a big place. Again, it's a 700 square building. But, it just goes to show that kids want to go somewhere. Otherwise, they're going to hang out on the streets and get themselves into fights. And that's just what they do. Boys, they find alcohol readily. There's no alcohol in here. There's no vapes in here. There's no smoking in here. You know what I mean? It's only good energy and good vibes, you know what I mean? Because that's the medicine moving forward.
Hey guys, thanks again for tuning back in. And if you're finding value in today's show, please subscribe, hit that like button, and also share with someone that you know could possibly benefit from what you get to hear from today's show. So without further ado, let's get back into it. You're right, you definitely need some support too to help you guys to achieve that goal at going forward, moving forward, fixing all those problems or issues that you said you want to address in 2025. Well, hopefully everyone that's watching this and listening to our show today, they'll get to find out a little bit more about you and the great work that you do. Okay, now can we kind of go back to, like, for a kid that wants to come to a place like this, what would they experience when they first rock up, and what are the rules or what are the things that they can do here to kind of be a part of something that maybe works for them or helps them out throughout their own anxiety levels of whatever they're going through or struggles?
Yeah, sure. So I guess the first thing I do when new kids come is I have a little whisper in their ear. Like, there's no, right reading. The kids need that. I'm not a school here. I don't need to put discipline from the get-go. They've had that all day at school. They don't need that. I have a whisper in their ear, shake their hand, introduce myself, and give them a nice smile, and just say, hey, guys, simple rules here, man. Just be kind to people. Anything you need food, you come see me. As you need money, you come see me. As you need help, you come see me. As you want the gym, you come see me. When I had a youth thing, you come see me. And straight off the bat, a lot of kids aren't used to that. A lot of kids they're almost being looked upon a little bit differently. Don't do this. You can't do that. You can't do this. Look, there's a discipline that's got to be had in here. Don't get me wrong, but I think if you can, again, give a little. Parents want to be respected. I want to be respected. Good, give respect back. Kids aren't always they're going to take a mile. They always going to, but a fact as a whole, man, I'm just being myself. Tam, I'm not trying to be Dr. Leon to these kids. Actually, frankly, they couldn't care less what I am. They couldn't care less what degrees I've done. I said what they do care about is, hang on, this guy's pretty chilled. He's just himself. So when the kids come in here and I can be myself and be genuine and not try to be someone outside myself, the kids, that'll rub onto them. So that you'll see signs around this place and it spells genuine. You'll see right behind the wards that those big signs says genuine. They all spell on, there's a little one there. But at the front door, there's a big word, genuine, and it's broken down to our 7 ethics and morals, and these are the words, and that's the word where you have to get kids to be, because kids are gonna join somewhere that's cool. They're going to be somewhere that they're going to be loved and cared for and laughed at and I guess welcomed in. No different to parents. Parents want the same thing. We're human beings together. So if you could try and teach kids, and a reason why I'm referring to kids is because for me, everything's got to start at the grassroots. And that's kind of my goal at the moment. So if you can teach kids just to be themselves, be genuine, you get the best out of them. I've had kids come in here and, they've been dropped off and the parents are like, oh my God, my son's been crazy at home. I'm pulling my hair out. I don't know what to do. They bring him in here and they go off for 3 hours. They come back and they pick their son or daughter up and they go like, how was little Johnny? Oh, he's amazing. It was incredible. He had so much fun. Really? We're talking about the same Johnny? I'm like, yeah. They're like, why? So why that? They asked a sincere question. So why are they nice in here? I said, look, I just, at home, your job as a parent, you got to be the discipline. You got to be the hard one. I don't have to be that here. But what the child did in here was they're under my authority. So in the authority of just be yourself, man. You're not here to prove anything to anyone. You don't have to outlift anyone. You don't have to do the best basketball shots than anyone. Just be yourself because, everyone else is taken, so to speak. So if you can teach kids to be genuine, maybe they might not join into that group that's vaping or that group that's smoking because you are who you hang around. If you love the pub, your mates are probably going to be at the pub. If you love the gym, well, your mates potentially may be at the gym. If you hang around all the boys that vape because you do, you're probably going to hang around the vapors. You want to be a high achiever and maybe be very business orientated. You're probably going to spend a lot of time in business meetings, functions, morning teas, etc. So it's like that'll find your tribe, but just strip yourself down and just be yourself because we're trained from social media also just to be someone we're not to get validation and likes, whatever. But the biggest thing is trying to make kids be genuine. So back to your question, they can be themselves. That's what I find they find, and they will just find a little bit of who they are and realize through conversations, opening up, being vulnerable, having a chat, you can break yourself down just to be yourself. And once you do that, it drops anxiety. It drops trying to improve or be someone you're not or try to make it out in the world. Man, just cruise, man. So all I do, that's why I don't. People don't see me too stressed or flustered, and I just chill. Oh, what's the worst that's going to happen? The place shuts down. It shuts down. If it goes on for another 100 odd years, awesome. But I know if I work hard, keep in the trenches, do the work for the right reasons, everything has a way of taking care of itself. So big capital letters, genuineness. That's what they'll find with kindness.
Man, that was pretty awesome.
So I've always prided myself to wear many hats. And I think to run this place, it entails me as a leader that I claim to be a self-leader. To educate kids and give kids knowledge and wisdom and power and strength and genuineness, everything starts from the front. Everything starts from the top. Everything starts from the culture that I display in here. So it's why I have it's how you think. I pulled out the movie. So people, if they want to know a little bit about me, hey, just go watch that, man, and that'll give you some information that you need, or it might give you some inspiration. And then again, there's the book coming out with health and fitness, so it's a different topic altogether. I've already started writing a leadership book that'll actually be come out after that one. So you're always, when you sort of put your way in, I guess, and we always talk about finding your purpose. It's something that can actually bring probably more anxiety to people than not. You don't find your purpose; it finds you. Yep. So you got to understand that. Like people are sort of chasing their purpose. But if you can get to the point where you just focus on doing good work from the goodness of your heart, good things just find you. And when you do that, like I mentioned before, all I've done is, on the back end of losing Dino to suicide, just build a band, body, mind, body, nothing crazy, just started coaching. All of a sudden, went a little bit deeper into that, started doing a bit of counselling. Started doing that and realised, hang on, I'm pretty good at this, so I'll just go get a diploma in counselling. Kind of enjoyed that. And I realised I could actually write, so I might as well write a book. Actually, that was fun, so I might just write another book. Oh, well, that was fun. Actually, I might go to uni now and see if I'm made up for uni. So I just went to uni. Oh, that was challenging. But now I want more. So then I thought, I might just go do a doctorate. Is that possible? Is that possible for someone like me? Well, yes, it is. Now it's done. And in the process, I might just find a youth centre. I might work out how I can build that. And when you do that, you just build that confidence. Now, confidence can only be built from doing things you didn't think you could do. And there's no other grey area about it. But if you're not stepping out of your little so-called comfort zone and being creative, like I say with this podcast, you just did it. Awesome. You'll find out in 18 months' time, you go, man, that was pretty cool, but it opened all these doors that you didn't think you could do because you hadn't done it before. So your stepping stone to anything great is start. I'm the king of failure. I'm king of fail. Don't worry about that. You can ask my wife; she'll tell you, mate. She goes, Leon, you do everything the long way, the hard way. I said, exactly. And she said, why do you do it the hard way for? I said, you want the honest truth? I said, yeah. I said, because I'm not intelligent enough to do it the other way. I don't know the other way. All I know is to keep making mistakes but I thought that was the right way. So this is where wisdom comes later in our life. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Wisdom is just understanding that you've got the knowledge and education and you're wise to know what to do with it. We know we got anxiety. We know we're struggling with depression if that's the case. So wisdom would then mean, well, maybe I will go get help for it. Or you got the knowledge and education. There's podcasts, books, there's information everywhere you turn. But that's the problem. I'll just read this, I'll watch this, and hopefully that'll make me better. Yeah, do that, but it's probably telling you to go get help. It's probably telling you to be vulnerable. It's probably telling you to reach out. Wise says go do that and do it, take action.
Absolutely.
So if you start taking action with everything that you do know, you'll be surprised where people can end up. You do, and I always say, if you do 1% better every single day, that's 365% better you are at the end of the 12 months. So imagine that over the course of 10 years, it's 3,652% better. That's a big number in 10 years' time. Most people will only ever grow 5% in their life. Stat for you.
Wow.
Okay? So all I'm asking is 1% every day to be 3,652% better in 10 years. Why wouldn't you do 1% every day? It doesn't make any logical sense why you wouldn't. Wisdom says to.
Talking about your brother Dino, sorry about your loss too with your brother.
Thank you, man.
And also, I know there was a dear friend of yours, which I got to watch their 4-part documentary, which was amazing. It was inspiring and heartbreaking through what you experienced. But yet at the same time, dealing with all that and dealing with a shoulder injury, trying to get through your competition, I take my hat off to you. You know, you must be related to Superman somehow.
well, on that, I've actually had 5 knee reconstructions as well. And with that shoulder, why that was, the shoulder. Many people have had sort of shoulder ops, but the reason why it was such a big deal was I literally just had 4 reconstructions over the years prior to that, and then I had the shoulder. And I guess the crazy thing was that when I had the shoulder done, I obviously kept training and nursed around. Obviously didn't train the shoulder, but I was squatting one day with a safety bar 4 weeks after I had the operation, and everything was fine. But I was just squatting with a safety bar, and then just an unfortunate turn of events is I actually popped 2 hernias. And so why I popped 2 hernias, it actually drilled me to the ground. So it actually drilled me to the ground, so I actually fractured my kneecap. So I had the shoulder going on, so I had to get the shoulder done, which I just had done, and then I had the emergency go get the knee done. And then I had to get the hernias done because they were actually pretty torn and that was quite traumatic. So in the 20-week period, so there was the shoulder, there was the knee reconstruction, which was my 5th one, and the 2 hernias. But look, at the end of the day, I reap what I sow. I do play a little bit hard. Hard in the way that I just like to have fun. I love soccer now. I still play at top level soccer now at nearly 48. So I just hope, Tam, when they lay me to rest, people can say, man, that guy, he had nothing left in the tank, mate. He gave it all. And I'm content with that. And he'd give you his shirt off his back. And I think, when you're talking about purpose in life, my life's about everyone else. And I just love to live it a bit fast. I love to live a little bit on the edge. If it means making a better impact for the community, I'll be willing to do it. If it means risking all this and making myself temporarily broke, I'll have a crack at it. Because if I don't, well, I gain nothing. But if it goes where I'm visualizing, like it is, well, it's going to have the impact of maybe not 8,000 kids next year. Maybe you can have 25 to 50,000 kids impacted. So that's kind of where the vision sort of goes on from there. So, but again, everything's stepping a little bit out of the comfort zone. I'm not afraid to fail. So be careful, kids. And people listening. It's all right, man. I'm the king of mistakes. I wrote my first book. I wrote it twice. I got it wrong the first time. Cost me around $25,000 just to print a book. You know what I mean? The design was wrong. Some of the little things in it weren't right. I marketed it wrong, so I had to remarket it, restart it, change all the front covers, and do it all over again. Rewrite the whole thing again. You know what I mean? So I didn't know how to write a book, so I wasn't around book writers. So I learnt the hard way. But that's okay. But it's led me to writing 3 books, and I got it right this time.
Look, those failures are the stepping stones to continue to improve 1%
Yeah.
each time.
Yeah, and it is a hard thing for people. Like, it's easy in theory to say, come on, it's okay to fail this and that, but it temporarily rips our heart out. It temporarily brings our confidence down. But that is where it's important to have, Tan, you got to have good mentors and good people around you. Not everyone has that. And if you haven't got that, go find it. They're there. You know what I mean? Again, we for kids, in this case, we have an abundance of mentors here. You know what I mean? Of 30-odd volunteers that hang around this place, but put yourself in a situation that around the people that know more than you. You know what I mean? Hanging out at a local church. If you want to connect, well, there's great connections there. You love sport, go join a sporting team. You know what I mean? There's always places that people can hang out, but sometimes it's awkward. Again, back to Sammy Parker, grab life by the balls. For men, look, please, let's you want to feel belonged and part of some good people that have probably got their own challenges going on that you could relate to. Go see them. There's also opposite Alex Surf Club. There's a little Hope Cafe. So any single maybe mums out there doing it challenging, there's a coffee shop there. Michael, his name is the owner, founder, amazing. Hope Cafe, check it out. He has a place where ladies can go and just sit and chat and hang out, and a couple of those funds go back to ladies that are maybe doing it tough singly. You know what I mean? So the community's full of great people. So if you think you're alone, you don't have to be. No one deserves to be alone. There is people around that are willing to help and with the open arms.
For the listeners and the viewers, what are a couple of things that you would love for them to take away from today's show before we kind of wrap up?
Yeah, it's okay to not be okay. And learning to be vulnerable, learning to speak up, and like we're in 2025 now, Tam. Gone are the days of my parents were hard, so I don't speak up. That's right. You can't use that tag anymore. So people, please stop using that tag. It's gone now. Fair enough, in the 1980s and 1990s, there was no education about speaking up. But in 2025, we are being told, remember I said about knowledge and education, wisdom would mean implementing exactly what I just said. Yeah, if you're not having a good day or you're really down, speak up. Because you know what? The first line to my documentary, if anyone wants to see it, you just go to YouTube, Body and Mind by Leon. The first line is, I've done everything wrong. It's the first line in the movie, mate. First to put my hand up, it cost 5 lives. You know what I mean? It's very tough to go to bed every night knowing that you gave the wrong advice and all those people took their lives. But why I didn't pull the trigger. But I got to wear that because the advice at the time led me to a road of being very uneducated. I realized that I didn't know as much as I thought I knew. I thought I was good working in that field, but I was very uneducated. So that's why I've gone down the road and made it a big pad to myself just to go learn a little bit. Put myself around people that know more than I know. And get educated and learn a little bit. So you become a specialty professional in your field, which is what drives me to be very innovative in a centre like Lookout 07. So vulnerability is the key. We've heard it before. Someone like myself that sees that people can see the creative this part. I said, it's on the back end of constantly being hurt, but rising above it, it's okay. It's okay to have a bad day. It's okay to get off on the wrong side of the bed, and when you do that, just show up anyway. I'm not bringing my best every day. But I'm bringing the best that I have on that day. We can't always be as strong as we like to be in the gym. We can't be as energized as some other people every single day. But what's important is that you show up every day and just carry a bit of humility with yourself. It's humility is just being yourself. Putting your hand up when you know you've done something wrong, that's okay. We're all doing things wrong. We're all sinning. We've all made mistakes. But no one cares about that. When you own them, it's okay. You yell at your wife, or you yell at your son, or you yell at your daughter, or you yell at your boss, or you've said something wrong. It's okay to apologise. Don't be too cool to do that. So I've just learned to have humility. You know what I mean? I don't mind putting my hand up and say, oh, that was me. Oh, yep, I did that wrong. That's okay. You know what I mean? We're none of us are bulletproof, mate. And that would probably be my couple of tips there.
Okay, and how can they get a hold of you and contact you if they want to bring their child along?
Yeah,
and all the other
pretty
tips.
much. If you go to the Lookout 07 website, there's some really cool information there. There's an amazing documentary too. I will say documentary, just probably has 6.5 minute testimonials for some kids. Some really heartfelt, conversations there, and some real honesty and rawness from the kids. And what I like about it the most is that little 6.5 minute clip has the kids have got the message to say, yeah, I've got anxiety, and yes, I was bullied, and yes, I got bashed, and yes, I'm not perfect, and yes, I took drugs, and that's okay. But I'm here to change. I'm here to try to be better. Didn't say I'm going to be perfect, because we're not here to use the perfect tag. We're not trying to be that. We're just trying to evolve and grow, and just be better people. So at a young age, these 15, 16-year-olds on that little testimonial, actually, they're putting their hand up. You wouldn't hear that 25 years ago. No, he did it. No, he did it. Yeah, I took drugs because you made me. That's what you'd hear. Today, these kids are like, hey, man, I delved down the wrong road. But you know what? I'm addressing that. I'm getting help for it. I'm talking about it. I've made better choices. I'm getting into the gym now. I'm exercising. I'm eating better. I'm vaping less. I don't need to tell kids to stop vaping. I don't need to tell them to stop smoking. I don't need to tell them to stop alcohol. They know that. They know what they're doing is wrong. They know that. The reason that they're doing it is because they're trying to mask whatever's going on in their life, or that looks cool for their friends, or probably a combination of both. Wow. So it's really in that extreme situation with these kids, man. Once you teach them that vulnerability and speak up and just own it, mate, they're going to have better marriages, relationships. Then they can teach their kids at a very young age, from the minute the child can start talking, hey, it's okay. You know what I mean? In my era, Dad was hard and he told me not to speak up, and that's my era. But times have got to change, man. And they are. They actually are changing. It's just going to, might take a few decades, but it's shifted in the right direction.
Yeah, absolutely. Any final thoughts?
I think that sort of covers it, mate.
Yeah.
I just, again, appreciate you, making the journey from out the back of Bundy Way.
Yeah, no worries.
And I love what you do, and keep the conversations raw, real, and vulnerable, mate. And I'm sure someone will take something away from, the chats that you do.
I'll add the links in the descriptions below, and how they can get a hold of you and contact you. And like I said, thanks again, Leon, for joining me on the show, man.
My pleasure. And again, if anyone wants to go a little bit deeper into the documentary, just simply go to YouTube, Body Your Mind by Leon, and that's where you'll find It's How You Think, the documentary. And it's a bit of a moving, touching, I guess, film, but it's real, and that's something that I think needed to be spoken about.
Absolutely. Thanks again, man.
Awesome, my friend. Thank you so much, Dan. Appreciate it. Brian did a great job, didn't he? Yeah, he's been my graphics guy, mate, for 12 years. That's how long I've had him for. That's who I've just been talking to. Yeah, he's just on my website doing some cool stuff. Yeah, we just got to put together a little 6-minute testimonial from the kids, like where they, I guess the challenges they've been through and their stories. You know what I mean? At a 15-year-old, they've got tough stories at that age, mate. They shouldn't have tough stories at that. You should just be having fun. You know what I mean? And doing what young kids do. But mate, it's why centres like this, man, they just have to be around. They've got to be around,
Right. I think we're good to go.
Good to go.
We're recording. Okay, so I'll kind of just welcome you into it.
Yeah,
I'll
easy
just
as.
open up with a bit of an intro.
Done.
Okay. Breathe. Don't forget to breathe, Tar.
Breathe. It's all good, mate. Sure, bro. Look at the cool stuff around here, mate. Switch your mind off it.
It's a bit distracting because it's so cool.
There's so much stuff to look at, isn't it? Well, you know what? There's actually a deliberate design to switch people's minds from anxiety to actually focus on cool stuff. The young fellow was just in here doing counselling.
Oh, wow.
We first thing first, I found he loved footy. You know what I mean? So cool.
Yeah.
And he's a Melbourne Storm fan, and next thing you know, I'm a Parramatta fan. So there's all of a sudden there's a laugh and joke there because I'm a Parramatta fan. We're going hopeless. So you've broken the ice, the shackles already.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's actually a direct, like I'll say, everything's designed purposely.
Yeah,
Might not look it,
the
might just
visual.
look, yeah.
It's a visual effect of
Totally.
an impact that has a huge impact. Anyway, I suppose we better get into it.